everybody. Welcome to the Sharon and Joe Show. My name is Sharon.
Hi, everybody. My name's Joe.
So we have a Thursday edition of the Sharon and Joe Show for you. And should I speak briefly about why that is and then get into the video?
Sure. And it's also, remember, to let people know it's Belle's birthday.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's a good thing you reminded me. So I wanted to tell you guys today is a very special day. Not only do I have Joe here for a Thursday edition of the Sharon and Joe Show, but our little dog Belle is 12 years old. She's the birthday princess today. And I know Joe wants me to post a picture of her on the community page, right?
She's so cute. She's got a little birthday outfit on, and she's a Bichon Perse, so she's white and fluffy and cute. She's a tomboy, and I just love the heck out of her. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're a little bit late with the Sharon and Joe Show, usually released on Monday, but we took a mini adventure and got away from everybody and everyone for the weekend. And we'll talk a little bit about that towards the second half of the...
Yeah. In the second half, we're going to talk about our adventure / misadventure over the weekend. Sound good?
And then I think it was over the weekend, or when we took our adventure, Sharon had brought up something that was it was profound in a way, like where it made me kind of contemplate as far as what can you take away, what did you learn from your experience with the narcissistic abuse?
I was thinking about this the other day, and there were certain things that I realized that I recognize I took away from the entanglement that are different than I was when I went in. And so I was talking to Joe about that. What happens to us? What are some things that we've learned? And we were talking about it, and the video likely would have been 3 hours long if we did all the things we were talking about. So Joe and I are going to begin a new series today over the next few weeks, and we're going to highlight one of those things. So it's not necessarily good or bad, but today's we're going to begin with evil. When you've been with a narcissist, you know that evil truly, really exists, and it's in your face, and it's ready to devour you.
Yeah, very, very well put. It's defined in Webster's dictionary, if I can recall, that evil is profoundly wicked or immoral. And what Sharon said was very accurate. It wasn't just like my concept of God changed. It wasn't like evil's out there, and I know serial killers like on TV and this and that. It's like, evil not only is out there, but it's subtle, it's cunning, it's insidious, and that I was married to it for 20 years. And so it could touch me, like I'm touchable, like I could be reached. And it was just, spiritual warfare, that part of it is very real.
When I think about this, or Joe and I talk about it, or I talk about it on the channel, sometimes it hits me fresh, and I know these things, but every once in a while I'm like, yeah, oh my gosh. Like the person that I was beforehand, right, was so innocent compared to how I am now. There's so many things, so many traps, nightmares, like hell came into my house. And I know this person that was supposed to love me, take care of me, or this exact person, whether you can call them a person or not, deliberately and maliciously intended harm to befall me and did whatever he wanted. And when I was hurt, it didn't matter. He put the equivalent of a bomb in our home, and the kids and I, we're never going to be the same.
And for any of the misinformed, I hear every once in a while that, it's a self-defense mechanism, these people are sick. Narcissists like empaths have free will. They have the power to choose whether they want to manipulate or lie or not. It's not like schizophrenia or some sort of mental retardation where you're limited on choice of physical and mental. They choose to be like that.
And I think that they enjoy it.
They get off on it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something to those people that think that childhood trauma is no excuse to be an asshole. When I talk about childhood trauma, you can hear my story, you can hear Sharon's story, you can hear the thousands of empath stories that were much worse than a narcissist. We choose to do good. And sometimes we've done bad things, but we're still good people to do bad things. We can make amends. We could be repentant. We can make things right. We have guilt. We have a soul. We have a personality.
Yeah, the narcissist, we were talking about that earlier, how a narcissist, do they have any personality, or is it just
actors?
Yeah, see, I think I go along the lines of they're actors, because our exes or anybody's narcissist will be different with everybody that they're around. So not to feel bad for them, because I never do, but can you imagine that if you literally okay, here's Joe, so now I have to act this way. Oh, here's my mother, so now I have to act this way. Now I know people do that to a degree, but I'm talking about a completely different personality.
Empaths and narcissists are alike in many ways too. One of them is that, like, even being an empath, I could kind of fall in and out of unconsciousness. Like, my codependency is what kept me with the narcissist. I didn't know that at the time. Sometimes narcissists, what drives them, they may not know. However, for the most part, their lies and their manipulation to try to cover up what they want makes them guilty as hell for what they've done. And that's between them and God. But I know for a fact that evil exists. In my situation, it was a demonic force that was through the very ancient, and through meditation and prayer and talks with God that I called God Dad. He told me, keep your armor on. You're experienced now. I want you in this war because there's going to be other battles and people to face. Might be a different face, a different name. It's out there, and it can touch you, and it can touch the ones that you love. This is part of the reason why Sharon and I do this. Like, part of this is awareness, is to bear witness of God's power and His love and His way of life. We were in impossible situations because the demonic force that was behind them was much more stronger than us, and it took God to come and rescue our asses after being married to these things and having children for 20 years.
You know, I'm going to touch on this a little bit right now, but not too much, because we're going to go, this is going to be one of the things we're going to talk about in future weeks, but it kind of goes along with evil. Spiritual warfare is real. You know, and it tells us, I'm not trying to be like a Bible thumper here. I always feel like self-conscious when I speak this way, but this is real. Like, when you listen to Sharon and Joe, like, this is what we really think.
This is our belief, and we're entitled to it just like you guys are too.
It says in the Bible, our adversary, the devil, roams around like a roaring lion, waiting for someone to devour. Before the narcissist, if I read that, it would have seemed like, it wouldn't have literally changed my life, right? I would have just been like, well, not for me. Like, you know, like, I guess so.
Don't worry about no lions.
Maybe if I'm in Africa, I don't know. Yeah. But now I know that's real.
The sheep in wolf's clothing.
Yes,
the covertness.
It's real. I mean, and it sounds crazy to other people. Only, like, really, like, we can only relate to each other in many ways, because to talk about how evil is real, it's like what you said at the beginning. Yeah, there's like a killer, or somebody crazy like that, but we're talking about reality, real. It's in your house. Your kids are touched by it. It walks around ready to hurt you.
We slept with it in our beds. It's just sickening. That's why it's so important, you guys, that, like, one of the most important things I did was I found people who understood. Yeah. Because normal people, normal earth people, they don't get that. Like, it was just like, oh, it's just a regular divorce. It's still a big deal. Like, no, dude. Like, you have
and
no idea.
And you sound crazy. Like, you can't, somebody who doesn't know can never fully understand.
No, they can't. It's just, they can't connect. Which is, thank God, like, there's a lot of, like, technology can be evil in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of good. It depends how you use it. And for us, we're part of that spiritual battle. We just want to let people know, no, you're not crazy. And yes, it hurts and the pain is there, because you're not just dealing with mental, psychological, physical abuse. You're dealing with spiritual warfare out to take your soul.
Yes, something that's stronger than you. You know, this isn't just like a game of will. This is, this you're in a real battle. You're in trouble, and you need to fight.
Yeah, I would get frustrated, you guys, because I'm a 6'2" guy, and I'm pretty in shape, and I'm telling them, like, I try to tell somebody, yeah, I'm scared of her. No, it's just a 5'2" lady. If you want to call it, it's not even. It's a thug, 5'2" thug I was married to. They couldn't understand. Like, well, dude, why don't you just leave? Well, I got 2 kids. It's just like there's so much more. This is so important, you guys, to have like a hub, a tribe, a family to be able to. So this is what we do. We try to fight the good fight, and we're aware that there's many more other things out there, not just narcissism, that's evil that this force works through.
But just seeing, today, so for today's edition of the Sharon and Joe show, evil, it is real. Tell us some things that you have learned. And we're going to be coming up. So Joe will be here on Monday. We'll be back to the Monday Sharon and Joe show, hopefully, right? God willing. And we'll have another one to talk about. But yeah, let us know. Do you believe that narcissism is, that if you have a narcissist in your life, evil has been infiltrating you.
And it was hindsight. It wasn't necessarily the whole 20 years that I knew anything about
I didn't
her.
know any of that, yeah.
It took me like getting out to understand that I was slowly being poisoned.
It's part of the healing process, I think. I don't know that you would know that necessarily to the level that we do now when you're still in the entanglement.
And thing, like in hindsight, seeing her mask drop and doing certain things, I was like,
because you're trying to survive.
I was like, holy crap. Like my life was in danger. That's why I always say it's no joke. It's life or death.
Yeah.
Like I escaped a bullet, literally. So let us know what you guys think, what you learned, what you maybe unlearned, as I say. But we want to talk a little bit about the little vacation that we went on. It wasn't even a vacation. You guys, it's so sad. We were gone for 20 hours maybe, and we got away. We went on a little adventure. Sharon and I went down south, about an hour away, stayed at a hotel, and the next day we went kayaking. And it was nice to get away from our responsibilities, and we left all the worries and all the crap behind us and just spent time together. This one was challenging, you guys, because the kayak trip wasn't what we thought it was going to be. However, we got through it. Now, it was funny because we went on the kayak trip. Sharon's like, yeah, we want to do a double kayak, and I asked the lady, I was like, well, what do you think about the double kayak? And she's like, She goes, there's a lot of married couples that are talking about getting divorced after they're done with the trip. What we didn't realize is that there was going to be hundreds of people on this river, a lot of teenagers.
It wasn't what we were expecting.
No, a lot of teenagers, a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking pot. God bless them, But it was very compact, and you had to know how to use a kayak to get the hell around them so you could have some parts of the river that were peaceful. And
now I already did say in my video with Paris, so that you did get a little angry here and again.
I don't know if it was
you weren't that bad, but you were frustrated.
I was frustrated because I thought, I've been on many whitewater rafting trips, class 4, class 5. I've been to. I almost drowned. I almost died. So I know how to handle a boat, And when you told me that you had been in a kayak before, I was like, oh, cool. I didn't know, sharing the kayak she was on, it was in open water, like a lake or an ocean or a pond. It wasn't like a narrow river where you really had to understand how to use the oars or the paddles to maneuver and navigate the boat. So it was a little bit tough.
I did try my hardest. You guys, I wanted to do this exactly right.
What did I tell you? What do you want me to do? What would I say?
Yes, all right, this is Joe, all right? So I'm literally trying to help. I'm trying to help. And you can help by doing nothing. You can help by doing nothing. Just stop.
I wasn't trying to do it to be a smartass, you guys. I meant keep your damn paddles out of the
Well, I knew
boat.
you had to say it like that because you had to tell me right now, but still. And then I'm like, oh, I'm really trying. And then I felt so bad where I'm just in the kayak and you're doing all the work and I'm just the passenger.
Sharon's a tiny little thing, and she was in the front. Of course, I was in the back. I was 6'2", about 240. So I was using a lot of arm strength and muscles to get us past.
I was too. I was using arm strength and muscles. And look here, can you see that? I even have a blister on my thumb.
Oh, from the paddle?
Yes.
But we laughed at a certain point, oh my God, we've both been through 20 years of hell each. And then the recovery process and all this stuff. And here we are, we're going to get into an argument about this trip.
We decided at one point, we never fought or had an issue, but we decided at one point, all right, we're going to get through this together. We've already been through the worst that can happen to somebody. So now we have 7 miles. God willing, we're at the end of it, but we survived. And then as soon as we got on shore, you started laughing hysterically.
Yeah, it was fun because another thing was it was a 7-mile trip, and at the beginning, now it's Sunday, I got to work all day Monday, and Sharon's I asked, how long is the trip? And what'd she say, 4 to 5 hours?
Yeah.
That's when I was oh shit, 4 to 5 hours. I want to be back home and chill, put everything away and chill out. But that was if you were just on an inner tube, floating down, not doing anything, which most of the people were. We were laughing at that. There's a lot of just out of shape, overweight people. God bless them. I got my own issues, but you think you can go out into the outdoors and move your body, let it know it's there. And it was just their fat asses were in the tube, just letting the river take it through, and that got me upset. And
it was not where we wanted to be.
But it was cool. Sharon got some stuff out of it too. We got to know each other a little bit better, which was good too, and it was fun. It is no offense, you guys. I want to make it clear, I'm always ripping on myself and stuff, so no offense about obese people or anything like that at all. I don't judge. It was just what was going on in my head. while I'm trying to carry us both through.
It was a bad scene because the people, like, it would be mostly teenagers, and they had themselves tied together, and they weren't like trying to accommodate us to get by. So we had to really work with their laughing and drinking. And, like, that was what we were dealing with.
Well, a couple of them were a little scared of me, so they were like, yeah, let them go through. But it was great, and I'm thinking like our next trip we want to go to. I don't know if you guys have ever been like to Amish, like country, where they have like boutiques in stores, and we're thinking maybe like a horseback trip. But we got to do it like within 24 hours, 2 days at the most, because I'm working a lot and we have the kids and stuff like that. But that'll be our next trip. The most important part, I think, though, Sharon, was we found it important enough to like say, listen, in order for a relationship to grow, we need to get the hell away from the kids in the family. And it was through that willingness and the action of actually doing it, which was what nurtured, not so much what happened on the trip, but like that willingness. And God was with us the whole time. We talked to God, we prayed. So it was cool. It was fun.
Well, it was really, this is really, guys, probably one of the best weekends I've ever had in my life. And the reason for that is when we were on our way down there, Joe was praying, and he asked God. So we were just gone overnight, right? Just some time together, just going to hang out at a hotel and go kayaking the next day. But Joe asked God to come with us, right, to be a part of this. And some of you who listen regularly know that we refer to ourselves and God as the triangle. He's at the top, we're at the bottom.
And his name is Dad.
Yeah, exactly. We call him Dad. So if you hear either Joe or I, we're not talking about our biological father. So he invited God in, and throughout the weekend, right, just like overnight, when we were just hanging out at the hotel, just talking or just being together, I felt closer to you, and I didn't expect that to happen because I already felt like maximally close to you, like very, like I'm bonded to you.
Yeah.
But there was something, I saw you in a way that I don't always see. Like it was almost like I looked inside your soul. And I know, guys, that sounds kooky, but that's really the best way for me to describe it. I felt very connected to you, and it became very emotional. I cried at that point.
Yeah, it was awesome, you guys. So that was our little adventure over the weekend. If you guys got any suggestions, there's like a mini adventure. If you guys got kids and you're like, yeah, I get it, like you can't get away for 2 weeks or whatever, let us know. More importantly, leave some comments if you guys have anything that you want us to add to the series as far as what we learned. And I want to bring up in the series as far as what I unlearned, which was my old ideals and what I thought, and my codependency, and unraveling and the rewiring of the mind that God did for me.
All right, so Joe, thank you for joining us on a Thursday, and I'll see you again on Monday.
Yep, I'll see you guys. God bless. God willing, I'll be here Monday as well.
All right, guys, have a good night or a good day, and I will see you on Monday.
Don't forget to check the community page for little Belle's birthday.
Yes, I'll have a picture of her up soon.